Deshaun Bauer had him around the waist, and the Raiders defense holds on fourth down. The clock hits 0, and that's another Vegas victory. 15-13. Josh McDaniels and company improved to 3-0.
It's time for Cofield and Company with Steve Cofield on ESPN Las Vegas.
Here we go, 5 o'clock hour. Ari's here. Willie Ramirez is here. Not in the open. Could be trouble there. Steve Cofield, Cofield and Company, Finley Toyota Studios. We'll be on the road the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Battle-Born Injury Lawyers at the BBC. Thursday, Silver Sevens. Friday, our home every Friday, Treasure Island at the Golden Circle Sportsbook and Bar. I'm getting punchy. We have a lot of good audio to get to this hour. We have a good conversation on the way with Beth Mowins. By the way, Jason Horowitz on all those Raiders calls there. Busy 5 o'clock hour, and I'm wondering about the focus of Willie. I feel like he's been kind of beaten and bandied around here today on the show for the first 2 hours. I expect a strong close. I think he's going to be fired up, especially with what we're coming out with. Let's do it.
Battle-Born Injury Lawyers presents the Big Five at 5. Number 5.
I knew this was going to be an issue. I go down to the Raiders facility every so often. I try to get out there once a week. You know, I'm covering the UNLV beat. They coincide with morning practices. And one thing I've noticed, you have a very tight-knit group with the Raiders media, including people bringing in snacks at times. You bring in donuts. But the Raiders also have some snacks there, I think. Is that Raider provided or is that media provided?
It's Raiders provided.
Okay, Raiders provided. Yeah. I've never grabbed a snack because I'm not a regular. I feel like that would be a violation. And I also think you guys watch everything in that room like hawks. I told you last week, I came in a little bit late and some seats in the back where I normally just hide and do my work and listen. Those were taken. So I went right to the front row and I turned around and someone's like, gave me a look like, mother. Like, I just want to find a seat.
I had a seat saved.
I know you had one saved. I walk in, I get all discombobulated. Now the New England media is in town.
Oh, boy.
Are you guys blending and coexisting with the Patriots media?
Boy, are they. Now, you know what? It's funny because I had a phone conversation driving with one of my media vendors who I do some freelance work with. And it's like, well, I'm headed out. It's real early. And we got a text message saying, get out there early because the Boston media is here. So I was on the text line about 5:30 this morning to tell someone who's out there pretty earlier than all of us. It's like, I want equipment. I want backpacks. But come to find out that our boys with the PR department, thanks to our PFWA president, requested name tags.
That's good. All the seats were labeled.
So all the seats were labeled. There were about 6 seats unlabeled.
What was the snack situation?
Well,
did it get ravaged or everyone was responsible? Like, hey, I don't belong here, so I don't take other people's snacks.
Oh, no. They went right for it. And they do a good job of trying to spread it out. Like they bring the baked chips, the thin crisp instead of all, which cuts maybe the.
They went right for the chips.
Well, there's that, and then you got the kind bars or the Cliff bars and the thin wafers.
Like if you walked into the Patriots media room,
straw chips,
cross country, don't you take like the veggie straw suck? Would you take the worst thing? You're like, you know what? I don't belong here. I'm going to take something, but I'm going to take the worst thing.
Honestly, if I was
baked Lay's, someone's grabbing a baked Lay's.
I would bring my own stuff.
That's a good point. I wouldn't grab anything, but apparently they went to town.
Yeah. Couple of our fellow locals who's, what's up with the Boston media? Just come in, take our stuff.
Let me tell you, it got worse than that because Q went on the air yesterday. He was livid. Raider Nation Radio 920. Apparently, there were some bathroom decorum issues, just slamming doors, walking in front of people up at the press conference. What?
We had a guy that was in the media room, and he's from the New England media, and he's a very well-known media member. My man came in while Jermaine Illuminor was talking. And normally, if one of the guys beats us to the podium, we'll just wait outside until that session is over. You don't want to walk in there and the door creaks and makes noise and then slams. He let all of that happen. He walked in, door slams behind it, walks to the back of the room, grabs his bag, walks into the bathroom, takes a leak. I know he flushed. I don't think he washed his hands. Okay. No, seriously. So then flushes the toilet, and then opens the door while the toilet's flushing. So all you hear is
every day, 2 to 5, Unnecessary Roughness, Michael Winslow doing the show over on 920. What's going on there? What's all the noise effects? Or
This
those
guy,
drops?
He came in and he went to the back room, and when Q says he grabbed his bag, zippers, zip, zip, and you're right underneath the live mic at the back of the room. So unzipping, went right into the bathroom, as Q said. So today, before Derek Carr entered, member of the Raiders PR team, there will be no. Let's show some etiquette.
Oh, you got to get a talking to.
There'll be
these guys came in
no bathroom breaks during the press conference.
Wow.
And if you're outside, please don't. You wait till the conference is over.
This whole anyone who's listened to Cofield and Company and the overmanaging of life that Adam Hill does, that's all an Adam Hill creation. You know, he went right to the PR people and was like, okay, this guy's making noise. He's being rude.
Okay.
We got to set rules because Adam just overthinks everything.
Here's the only thing that I went off on today. I walked out and I says, I don't know who was in the room. I mean, I do know who was in the room, but I don't know who else. And I said, listen, I'm not sure who's in it. And I don't care if you're from Boston either, Vegas or Boston. But y'all guys, they can't lift the seat and then dribble on it are foul. Straight up. You are foul individuals, because when I go to lift the seat and I have to pinky, just barely touch it just because it's y'all are foul. And I don't care if you're from Vegas or Boston. I'm letting y'all know.
Imagine the women who have to sit after guys pee all over the seat.
Exactly. And all over the floor.
I didn't know about this part. This is the whole Big Five now.
It's horrible.
We've lost our way.
Well,
I'm gonna have to show some restraint.
Good news.
We're gonna have to carry this over to tomorrow. I didn't know there was peeing on the seat.
Number 4.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I was very excited to hear Derek Carr talk about the Dana White story, where Dana White, the UFC president, put together, he thought, a deal to get Brady and Gronk to the Raiders. Gruden turned it down. So we're all thinking, hey, did Brady call Carr a mother blanker on the shop? So Vinny from Raider Nation Radio 920 comes out with this question, and here's a response from Derek Carr.
There was a story that came out on Saturday, Tom Brady, Dana White. Yep. First of all, any thoughts on that? And then also, are you kind of immune to all the nonsense?
By now, yeah. I would hope so.
Okay. I don't think you're going to get a good answer from Derek Carr if you immediately say that the situation is nonsense, because it's really not. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, can I interject real quick?
Is it going to be real quick? No, you don't have to say interject real quick. You're on the show. Go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't know
if you were.
Because I was asking you guys. I'm like, hey, when you frame a question and call it nonsense, you're kind of getting Derek Carr out of it. But I was asking other people. I'm not down there. Like, did the Raiders say, hey, don't ask about this? You're just trying to kind of tiptoe your way in.
I get your point.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Out of the entire incident.
Yes.
Out of the entire incident, I get the story is that Dana said he had this deal brokered. Mm-hmm. I get all that. But has anybody not centered maybe on the part when you talk about, like, how's Derek Carr going to feel? Oh, my God, we can't wait to ask him. Shouldn't he feel good that Gruden nixed it?
He should.
Right. So that would be.
But I think it's very fascinating if Tom Brady said, you kept that mother blanker over me. That's a great angle.
I understand that.
That's a touchy subject. And we believe that Derek Carr has said that Brady has responded to him in the past and said, I wasn't talking about you.
No, and we also know that he said something like, I'm kind of getting old to fight, but if I have to, something to that effect. So I get all that. I'm just saying the only part that's not been brought up is that Gruden nixed it. So no, Carr shouldn't feel any way about the brokering part of it, because first of all, I don't remember Dana White being a partner with Mark Davis. So him brokering anything, big deal. But the fact that Gruden nixed it, I think, if anything, he's like, yeah, okay. So he could broker all he wants, but my coach at the time nixed it.
Number 3.
Very important stuff to break down. Mark Davis. You got a one-on-one with him.
Oh, yeah.
But that, on the heels of that conversation the other night, we find out that now the Raiders are valued at $5.1 billion, a top 10 franchise in the National Football League, 49% jump from last year. So if Davis wanted to flip the Raiders, he could get $5 billion, probably Probably could. We're fascinated with Mark as a sports fan. Kind of a common guy, very rich common guy. And we asked you last week about the white jackets, right? Hey, go to Mark Davis and find out. He's wearing the white jacket everywhere to sporting events. He's got to have multiple jackets. So here's Willie's just like, during an Aces game, let me just grab Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders and the Aces in the back.
We're at halftime of the Aces game with owner Mark Davis. And for the fans out there who have been inquiring with the show, I personally have the over, by the way. We want to know how many white Blazers you have.
Clean ones, new ones. I have 3 new ones hanging in the closet waiting for this one to get dirty.
Okay. Courtside Club. Mini hot dogs or the carving station? Which one's better?
I couldn't tell you. I think they're all good.
Okay. What was the look on his face when you asked about the mini hot dogs on the carving station?
I think he was more thrown because he didn't know because I prefaced the whole thing with say, hey, we're going to have some fun here. He goes, okay.
Okay.
And so, but I think, I don't think that he wanted to degrade anyone from Mandalay Bay. And I also don't think that he wanted to admit that he goes for, per your source, the mini hot dogs, and he's never gone to the carver station. But
that's a good, it's a good thing. Yeah. That's what we're building here is that he's a mini hot dog guy over a carving station guy.
Right.
It's very admirable. The white jacket thing is still kind of confusing. So
you're perplexed by it because you think he should maybe have 7 or 8.
Well, I think
12.
you should rotate him.
Yeah,
and it sounds like he's like, I'm just going to let it get dirty and disintegrate, and then I move on to another one.
Now, I will tell you this: in doing that little quick interview he was on his way to the Courtside Club. In doing that, I was looking like deep into the thread count of what. And
you really stared him down.
Well, it wasn't what I thought it was because I've said last week. I said jokingly when we talked about this, I said like the Don Johnson, the Miami Vice, but it wasn't
more like a tweed.
It was like a really nice fabric. It was a decent blazer.
You're gonna have to follow up on this because I talked to you off the air and you're like, I should ask a couple more questions. There's some real investigative journalism to be done here on these white jackets. No one wears white jackets, and it's his thing.
Excuse you.
Yeah, but you wear it's like a
Sammy P just got done saying it wasn't even buttercream. It was off-white cream. I mean,
I know, but he's a casual white jacket guy.
Yeah.
You're like a fancy white jacket guy. And big, blubbery fellas like white jackets ain't gonna work.
It was a full suit.
So I admire what he's doing.
Are you trying to say that you would look like the Michelin Man?
It would look really bad. I have a ton of old shirts because I screw up colors when I'm buying stuff. I like reds out, yellow I got it was a gift. I got a nice Hawaiian type yellow, and every time I put it on, I'm like, oh boy. So for Mark Davis to pull off white is pretty impressive. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't think that Mark cares. I mean, his bank.
Oh, everyone cares.
I don't think so.
Cares about his hair. Gets that cut every 2 weeks. Right? Everyone cares. Well, not everyone.
Number 2.
Sorry, I started thinking about people on the show who don't care. So, you're right. Not every guy is very much down with how they look out at games. All right, Darren Waller practiced today. What did it look like?
He looked fantastic. I mean, he had this invisible look to him.
Okay.
He had the invisibility cloak. And he was moving along. And here's the thing. Nobody could touch him.
This is a crazy story. He showed up for a practice last week. He's been gone, for the better part. We know he's around because he's been at Aces games.
Yeah.
And he wasn't out there at all. I mean, I know we've got a couple of media people who come out with the binoculars. They track him.
Nope.
All right.
Nowhere to be found.
Hamstring flare up?
Nope. I think it goes back to everything that we have agreed upon that I said, that other people, we all have our own theories of how he's been promised the contract.
Right.
I mean, I think that he's just avoiding, and I'm not saying that he didn't get dinged up, and if that's what's been put out there. But here's the thing, even though it's Shefty with his sources, don't you think if it really was a